Jersey. Governor, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, man.
So you heard Ted Cruz defended it. Donald Trump defends it. They say, Donald Trump keeps saying some very smart legal scholars believe it's possible. The 14th Amendment, so people know, says if you're born here, you're a citizen here. But you've got serious men now running for president saying we need to do away with that.
Well, I mean, listen, it doesn't make sense. It's in the Constitution. They want to amend the Constitution. Then you need a 2/3 vote in Congress and 38 states to ratify it. But you know what, Megan, what's underlying all this is the extraordinary frustration that the American people feel that for 30 years, these folks in Congress, previous presidents, haven't enforced the law. And maybe I come at this from a really direct point of view, but what I believe is you're elected to enforce the law. That's what I did for 7 years as U.S. Attorney. That's what I've done for 6 years as governor. You stand up against the people who don't want to enforce the law, and you make sure it happens.
But their point is, and Trump said this at a rally earlier tonight, if somebody comes across the border for one day, has a baby, and that baby gets the birthright of, American citizenship for, the next 80 years and all the benefits that come with it, is that right? Shouldn't something be done about it? That's an abuse that wasn't contemplated by the founders, in his view.
If we enforce the law, we won't have that problem. The fact is, what we need to do is to make sure that we're securing the border in the first place. What we need to do is to make sure we secure that people come over here with visas don't overstay the visas. We have laws in place now to handle the overwhelming majority of the stuff. But what people are really angry about is the government doesn't do their job. And, that's why people elected me in New Jersey in 2009, because the government was completely ineffective, wasn't doing their job. I stood up to the legislature in New Jersey. We've done those things. I'll do the same thing as president on the immigration issue. You'll have a law enforcer in the Oval Office who's had that job before and will know how to enforce the law.
Now, let me ask you this, because earlier this month you apparently suggested to Laura Ingraham that the 14th Amendment and this birthright citizenship thing was outdated and needed to be re-examined in light of the current circumstances.
Yeah, what I said was I'm willing, when we do overall immigration reform, I'm willing to put anything on the table for discussion with all the different advocates. That's different than saying that there is no such thing. It's in the Constitution.
What about the 11.3 million illegal immigrants who are now here? Because Trump and Cruz and others think that they should go, and that not only should they go, but even their American citizen children, at least Donald Trump says, they got to go too.
Yeah, well, we're not kicking out American citizens. And the fact is, listen, I've done law enforcement for 7 years. There's not enough law enforcement officers at the local, county, state, and federal level to forcibly deport 11.3 million people.
You think it's an expansion of government if we decide to go that way?
Yeah, of course it is. So let's get real. Does the American people really want a bigger government? The one we've got's too big and too ineffective already. Make it smaller, like I did in New Jersey. Let's make the federal government smaller and more effective with an effective executive. The fact is, people are angry because this government doesn't work.
How does the Republican Party find that place in between alienating Hispanic voters? Because if Mitt Romney had won 10 percentage better, with Hispanic, he might be President Romney right now. So not alienating the Hispanic voters, but still appealing to the wing of the Republican Party that really wants a tough position on this.
By telling the truth and enforcing the law. I mean, the fact is that you don't need to be pandering to one way or the other. I'll tell you the way you don't do it. You don't do like focus group tested trips to the border, speak Spanish, and then criticize Asians. I mean,
he's referring to Jeb Bush for those of you who are at work.
I don't think that's the way you do it. I don't think you do it by doing policies that come out of the 1990s. You need to deal with this problem directly. Say to the American people, listen, we've got a problem. The first thing we need to do is to secure the border and fix it. Once we do that, we're not adding to this problem. Then let's have a conversation about how we effectively deal with the people who are in the country. If they commit a crime, they should be arrested, put in jail, and as soon as they finish serving their term, those folks should be deported without question. But I don't think we're also going to deport American citizens, Megan.
And that would have taken care of the Kate Steinle murder.
Of course it would have.
That policy had been.
And by the way, a lot of the other things that people are concerned about would have been taken care of that way. And the last thing is this. Folks don't want to go backwards. We don't want to litigate old fights and old conversations and old disputes. We don't need a candidate who's looking backwards who can't even answer a question on anchor babies. We need to have someone who's going to be looking forward and doing things the right way. And I'm not trying to be coy about it. The fact is that if Governor Bush cannot stand up to answer those questions with 2 or 3 tries at it, what's going to happen when he has to look at Vladimir Putin?
Governor Christie, always a pleasure. Did that interview on Face of the Nation outside. You like to do these outside interviews. Well, you did that with me, too.
I did.
Why, the sunlight, is it just like it's the blonde?
Let me tell you this. I think it looks good for both of us, Megan. I think we both look fabulous on the outside. And listen, Dickerson didn't look bad either, all things considered,
Great to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Megan.
Well,